she is.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Broome. Welcome to the $1 Million Highway in Southwest Colorado. The treacherous road is considered one of the most scenic drives in America. It's rich with history and runs from Ouray to Silverton. Let's start in Ouray. Ouray has been nicknamed the Switzerland of America since the late 1800s. My first stop in town is at the Ouray County Museum. It's dubbed the best little museum in the West. It's in a building that dates back to 1887 and was originally the Miners' Hospital. And this is what a hospital room would have looked like. This room has all kinds of things that you would find in grocery, hardware, and general stores. From toys and quilts to a replica of a mine, the museum is filled with artifacts from life in the late 1800s and early 1900s, including the hospital kitchen. You even learn about Ouray's connection to the famous Hope Diamond. It gets my vote for the best little museum in the West. I learned so much. Let's go explore these pioneer houses next. Downstairs is the kitchen and dining room. And upstairs is the bedroom. This is the Rob Sly cabin. This cabin is different because it's all one room. I've seen the museum, I've seen the courthouse. Now I'm on a self-guided walking tour to enjoy some of the Victorian architecture. Along Main Street, there are signs showing what each block looked like around 1883 and circa 1903. And here's what it looks like today. The Beaumont Hotel is still there. The saloon is now Hotel Ouray. Hiking Perimeter Trail is very popular in Ouray. There are multiple trailheads, so you can do just a section of it, or you can do the whole loop, which is 6 miles. Let's go to Box Canyon Falls. It's a pretty mellow 500-foot walk to the falls. You walk down a caged metal staircase to the base of the 285-foot waterfall. It's a good idea to take rain gear because you're gonna get wet. After an adventurous day, relax with a soak in thermal waters. Ouray's hot springs have attracted weary travelers for centuries.
Almost there.
Got my helmet on, I've got climbing gear on, and this person who is very afraid of heights is about to take on the Ouray Via Ferrata. Number 2 is Take the Iron Path. We're climbing the Ouray Via Ferrata. As someone afraid of heights, walking across the 35-foot cable bridge above the Uncompahgre River is challenging.
All right, there's Caroline and Chris coming across.
You're clipped in the whole way, even through the hiking sections. Then we climb up. Climbing up the 75-foot ladder at a 35-degree angle is actually my favorite part. A little more traversing and
Coming in like a champ. You did it! I only cried once.
Number 3, do the drive. To fully experience the $1 Million Highway, you have to drive it. It's just over 23 miles from Ouray to Silverton on the $1 Million Highway. First stop, Lookout Point. You get a great view of Ouray from here. Right after the tunnel, and there's a waterfall. There are some white-knuckle stretches with lots of curbs and no guardrails. The views are spectacular, getting better and better around every curve. When the road straightens out, start looking for mining relics, especially on Red Mountain. Make a stop at the Treasury Tunnel. It's the eastern end of the Eldorado mine, one of the largest mines in the San Juan Mountains. Miners would enter here and ride the tram to their stations. The Red Mountain Mining Overlook is one of my favorite stops on the $1 Million Highway. This area has over 100 historic mines. Nearby are some of the historic homes of Red Mountain Town. In its heyday, it had close to 10,000 residents. These are some of the Eldorado houses. Keep driving up to the summit of Red Mountain Pass with an elevation of 11,018 feet. Driving down from the summit, the landscape looks entirely different as you continue on your way to Silverton. Number 4, Explore Silverton's rich past with the Wyman Hotel as your base camp. The Wyman building was built in 1902. It housed a mercantile, a gas station, a ballroom, and even a dentist office. It's now home to the Wyman Hotel, so it's old on the outside, but chic and modern on the inside. Head to Coffee Bear for breakfast on the rooftop. They're home to the square burrito and have the only rooftop in Silverton. Let's visit the San Juan County Historical Society Museum. First, going in the jail that was built in 1902. The sheriff lived in the downstairs and prisoners were upstairs. This is the main cell block. There are 4 cells. Heading down into the basement to the Mining Heritage Center. There's a multi-layer mine replica. You get a glimpse of mining life and mining history in the museum. Now, let's go into a real mine. We're going on a tour at Old 100 Gold Mine.
We take you in about 1,500 feet. We get you off. We walk you around, show you the equipment we used from 1880 all the way up until nowadays.
On the tour to get in Old 100 Gold Mine, you go in just like the miners did, on a train.
We're going in this way.
Whoa, wow. That's the coolest way to enter a tunnel.
Guys, that's what we come in looking for. Our gold and silver runs in that quartz crystal. Lead, zinc, iron, copper, they're a byproduct, but we do extract them.
A big part of the tour is mining equipment demonstrations. Then we walk to see bigger equipment, including the very loud mucking machine. We exit the Old 100 Gold Mine the same way we entered. From the mine, we're heading to the Mayflower Gold Mill. This is where the rich rock would go next. We're starting the self-guided tour, heading to the tram house. I'm gonna call it the miner's version of a ski chairlift. 2 miners sit in one of these, and then they take the 22-minute ride to the mine in the mountains. Whoa, this is the crushing plant? So much equipment. Wow. All right, sign says press and hold button to run the gold jig. Look at that. It says press and hold button for a surprise. Woo, that's loud. It's a maze of different equipment. This is way more elaborate than I imagined. Way more elaborate. Silverton is a Victorian mining town. Let's take a walk to see some of its historic buildings. The City Hall building dates back to 1908. This building dates back to 1880. It was one of the first masonry buildings in Silverton. Don't miss the train depot and maybe take a ride on the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Green Street is Silverton's main street, but Blair Street, that's its most infamous street. It was home to 32 saloons, gambling halls, and houses of ill repute, just in 3 blocks. The Shady Lady was one of them. Before it was a restaurant, it was a bordello. In the 1950s and 60s, notorious Blair Street got a new role as a set for movies like Ticket to Tomahawk, adding another layer to Silverton's colorful Wild West past. Number 5, go on a 4-wheeling adventure. I rented an off-highway vehicle, or OHV, from Rock Pirates in Silverton. Cruising through town. So I've gone from paved road to a dirt road. So far, the drive's pretty easy. 8 miles on this unimproved dirt road takes you to Animas Forks Ghost Town. This is the 1882 Animas Forks Jail. Men that were held here were generally held for a short time and then taken in to Silverton. Animas Forks Historic Site was established in 1875. Population 114, elevation 11,160 feet. Animas Forks is a very well-preserved ghost town. This house right here is what I call a home with a view. This house was built circa 1906, 1907. This house, as we walk through it, it's big by the way, was known for its indoor toilet, which was actually an outhouse connected to the house. And I think that's it. Let's go look at some of the other homes. Some are really small, some are big, and there's a waterfall. This is the William Duncan House. It was built in 1879. Tall bay windows like this were common to the Victorian era, but very unusual at this high of an elevation. I've really enjoyed going in and out of the buildings and imagining what life was like in the late 1800s. To the right, Engineer and Cinnamon Pass. To the left, California Gulch. That's where I'm headed.
I am climbing up Hurricane Pass, going up to 12,407 feet.
Once above tree line, there's snow and more snow.
Well, this part of the drive has been rather adventurous, climbing up to the summit of Hurricane Pass. Elevation 12,730 feet. Well, that was fun.
As we cruise back into Silverton, what a great way to end our fun along the $1 Million Highway.